So we begin chapter 6. This is the first homework question, number 7. It says solve each equation for the indicated variable. A and B are both the exact same equation, 3x minus 2y equals 18. In the first instance, they're asking us to solve for x, so we need to get this variable isolated. And in the second equation, they're asking us to solve for y. We need y alone. So if we consider the first equation, if I'm trying to isolate the x variable, I probably would begin by adding 2y to each side. So the equation as it appeared was 3x minus 2y equals 18, and I'm going to add two y's to each side. When I do that, the left-hand side becomes simply 3x, and the right-hand side becomes 2y plus 18. And then to finish off and solve for x, I'm going to divide both sides by 3, or multiply both sides by 1/3. Same thing. So if I multiply this times 1/3 and this times 1/3, over on the left-hand side, I see that it becomes just plain old x. 1/3 times 3x is x. And on the right-hand side, 1/3 needs to be multiplied by each of the terms. So when I multiply 2y times 1/3, I get 2/3 y, and 18 times 1/3 is plus 6. So this is the answer for A. This is when you solve the equation for x. X is alone. For B, it says, let me write here, this was A. For B, it says, again, this time we're going to solve for y. So we start with 3x minus 2y equals 18 again. 3x minus 2y equals 18. And we're going to begin this time, since my goal is to solve for y, I'm going to subtract 3 x's from both sides. When I do that on the left-hand side, we now have simply negative 2y, and that will equal negative 3x plus the number 18. 18 and 3x are not like terms. I can't combine them. And then to get y alone, I'm going to multiply both sides by the fraction negative 1/2. Negative 1/2. On the left-hand side, negative 1/2 times negative 2 is just positive 1, so we've got 1y. And that equals, now I need to multiply each of these by negative 1/2. Negative 3x times negative 1/2 would be positive 3/2 x. And then negative 1/2 times 18 would be negative 9. So this equation, y is equal to negative 3/2 x minus 9. By the way, in that form, we can easily see that the slope of this line is up 3 over 2, and the y-intercept is b. Our final equation is c, and we're asked to solve this for r. So we need to get r alone. And if I look at it, you can see that r is being multiplied by 2 and by pi. And on the other side, c is equal to that. You may recognize this as a formula that expresses the relationship between the circumference and the radius of a circle. The circumference is 2 times pi times r. If I solve this equation for r, I'm going to simply take the original equations. This is part C. And all right, circumference equals, it was 2 pi r. And I'm going to multiply both sides by 1 over 2 pi. Let me make room for this over here. I'm going to multiply this side also by 1 over 2 pi. So when I do that, I guess I'll write this step out so you can see it. On the right hand side, I have 2 times pi times the radius, and I'm multiplying it by 1 over 2 pi, so I get 2 pi there. On the other side, I get c over 2 pi. And I think you can see now the reason why I multiplied by 1 over 2 pi was because it creates a giant 1 on the right hand side, leaving r all alone. So the radius of a circle is the length of its circumference divided by twice pi.